Well, welcome back, everyone. We're here at Gracie's Project, the storefront here in the South Georgia Plaza. Still got Stacia here with me, as well as Gracie's Project Ambassador. We have got Miss Sally May here with us. We got her to take a break from testing out dog beds and making sure the treat selection was just right to come hang out with us a little bit.
Serious bar tab.
Oh, yes.
Bar tab.
Runs up a pretty good tab for sure. But let's talk about, just like I said, of course, like I said, she's a Gracie's Project Ambassador. Of course, like I said, she's one of your pups. And just talk about the passion that you'll have as an organization for helping dogs here in the community.
So the one thing, when it was founded by Loretta and Brandon, they wanted to help the ones on the EU list and then couldn't help themselves, maybe injured on the streets. So unfortunately, it's got us about 200 dogs, because of their big hearts and everybody's help and want to help those guys, because they can't help themselves. And this area has a huge need and a huge overpopulation of dogs, and they unfortunately ends up on the streets or on the EU list at different shelters around the Panhandle. So we try to help that way as much as possible.
Absolutely. And so, of course, there's always this this big push, and it's a great thing to adopt dogs that are, like I said, in need and things like that. But also, what are some ways that people at home, they have a dog, the ways that they can help make sure that dogs being on the street, that's not going to be a continuing problem here in the community?
Spay and neuter. Spay and neuter is the biggest thing. There are clinics here that can help. There's vouchers that can help. Sometimes people can't afford it, and we totally understand that. Contact your local rescues. There's 8 to 10 different rescues in the area that have the knowledge about how different resources can help you, and they're always willing to help, because the more they can help get the spay and neuter problem under control, the less dogs we're likely to have within our rescues. Right,
and it's one of those deals. You want to have as few dogs as possible because you want them going to good homes and everything, and then it's also that post-adoption process that's so important as well, because you're telling me a little bit, of course, we've got this great store here that people can come and buy things, but also that it kind of doubles as a place for people to bring their pets. You do shot clinics and all kinds of other things that people can bring their pets to here at the store, right?
Yes. So we have different community events, what we call it. Every second Saturday we have a shot clinic here, so you get a low-cost parvo distemper and you get a low-cost chip if you don't have your pet chipped, which is helpful if your pet gets lost, and you don't have to pay the vet fee to go get the, examination or anything like that. It's $10 a shot, $10 for the microchip. That's pretty inexpensive to keep your pet healthy and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you can save a lot of money. Like I said, do things that, help keep your animals safe for sure. And so if somebody out there is thinking about adopting, then we get plugged in, they want to see what kind of pups you have here at Gracie's Project. What's a great way for them to get that adoption process started?
The way that we start our adoption is the website, graciesproject.com. We have all of our dogs listed there, a little bio on each of them, and there's an application. That's not a contract. It just gets the process started, because our dogs, may be with a different person, a different foster, those kind of things. So we want to make sure to get that app to the right person to get you in contact with them.
Absolutely. And let's say somebody, maybe they're not quite in the adoption phase of the process, but they really want to help Gracie's Project out in various ways. Talk about ways of people can volunteer, and are there any opportunities to foster at this moment in time?
Oh, we always have opportunities to foster. Come on, Sheldon.
I knew the answer.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, you can absolutely foster. The same process. You go out and fill an application. If there's one that you're wanting to foster in particular, fill out the application with that name. If you just want to be a blanket foster, just put blanket on there, and Loretta or somebody will give you a call and walk through the process and what we can do and who you can actually foster for us, that sort of thing. And then volunteering, we always have opportunities for volunteering. We have different events, in the community. We do different shows, different fundraisers. We need help planning, catering, all these different kinds of things. That there's absolutely unlimited opportunities for volunteering.
Right, and you were telling me a little bit that volunteering thing. It's maybe somebody, they're not sure if they can dedicate just a ton of time to it, where you said, you guys are flexible. It's not like you're asking this major commitment during the week. Even if it's just a little bit of time, somebody can come in and still help out, right?
Oh, absolutely. Even if it's just 30 minutes, you want to come in here and help us organize the store, clean. That's 30 minutes that you've helped us that we can focus back on the dogs if you can't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Getting them networked, getting them, on the websites, making sure they're everywhere, because that's a process too. And it can be a lot and overwhelming. So any minutes we can get back in the day for the folks who handle those parts is great.
Definitely. I think it's a good thing for sure. So thank you for letting us come out here and hang out in your Gracie's Project storefront. Great things in here, all kinds of great products and stuff. In fact, I got Hank and Stormy at home. I found a ball that I think is going to be perfect for Stormy, so I think I'm going to surprise her with that.
And we expect to see Hank and Stormy in the store soon.
I will have to bring them by for sure. And you should definitely bring your pets by. We're going to have Sally May on here in a little bit. We're going to do a live edition of the Dog Walking Forecast. Sally May will be our guest star for the Dog Walking Forecast coming up here when we come back, so you don't want to miss a forecast for a beautiful beautiful Dog Walking Tuesday.